Hey, what's up guys? Luke Profits. Recently, eBay's been giving retail arbitrage dropshippers a whole lot of issues. They updated their item sourcing policy and made retail arbitrage dropshipping technically against terms of service, sent out a scary email to a whole lot of people saying that they'd lost their top-rated seller status because they were dropshipping, and worst of all, they've been flagging accounts. Now, what happens when your account gets flagged? When your account gets flagged, you'll know it. Your sales are gonna drop from getting a lot to just very, very, very little. You can go from getting 10, 20, 30 sales a day on an account to 1, maybe 2. The easiest way to tell if you've been flagged is just to look at your promoted listings. If you're doing everything the way I recommend, you'll go from having a store with 1,000 items that's getting around 16,000 impressions just on the promoted listings every single day to around like 500. So if you look at your promoted listing impressions and you see like 16,000, 17,000, 15,000, 16,000, 16,500, and then it stays down, you're flagged. Now, I do want to preface this before I go any farther in the video. There are a ton of videos on YouTube talking about how to stop flagging, what's causing flagging, blah, blah, blah. There are tons of clickbaity things that you'll see that are like, oh, this is how you stop flagging, this is how you flag. But then the person just sort of talks and they ramble and they say stuff that people already know, and then they don't ever actually tell you how to fix the problem. They're like, maybe you could try this. I don't know. I'm trying this. I don't know. I figured out how to actually solve the problem. So if that's all you're looking for, you can skip ahead to the end of this video where I'm going to be talking about that. But I think there's a lot of good information in here, so I'd hope that you don't skip. But I don't want anybody to click away and think, oh, he hasn't actually found the solution to this problem and he's just going to ramble like all these other videos. Because I am going to ramble for a little bit and tell you some important and interesting things, but at the very end, I'm going to tell you actually the solution on how to fix this. Before I get to the solution, I want to talk a little bit about what the theories are as to how eBay is flagging accounts. There are like 3 main ones that I've heard. But before I even get to that, I want to zoom out a little bit more and think about why eBay would disallow retail arbitrage dropshipping in the first place. It makes them a ton of money, right? Thousands of people paying for their store subscriptions, not to mention the 10% final value fees of everything that they sell. It's making them a ton of money. So why would they not want anybody doing retail arbitrage dropshipping anymore? Some people, for example, me, when I first started dropshipping, just had the idea for dropshipping all on their own. Oh, look, I can buy this thing for $10. Maybe I'll just list it on eBay for $20, and then if it sells, I'll have it shipped straight to them. That's fine unless I'm super new to eBay, have no clue what I'm doing, no clue how to treat customers, no idea how anything works. My point is, new sellers don't really know how eBay works. They haven't figured out the system yet, and often they're getting a lot of sales and they're sort of having to figure out as they go, but they're going very fast. Another thing that causes a lot of problems is that there are a lot of new retail arbitrage dropshippers that don't remember to adjust their shipping times and make sure they're accurate and that they're getting items to their buyers on time. And they also don't make sure to have an accurate item location of where the item is coming from. Tons of dropshippers are like, oh, hey, here's this thing. Buyers buy the item and it says it's coming from the US and it should be there in 3 or 4 days. And then the dropshipper ships the item, they upload China e-packet tracking, and then it's gonna get there in like a month, and then it's taking forever, and the buyer's like, why isn't it here? Why isn't it here? What's going on? And then eBay can't really do very much because the tracking shows that it's going to the buyer, but it causes them a lot of problems, creates a lot of upset buyers. Usually I think the dropshippers learn from that and then fix those problems, but it doesn't change the fact that there are still tons of people trying to learn how to dropship that are just screwing everything up. Dropshippers that don't know what they're doing are causing tons of problems for eBay customer service, tons of angry customers that they're having to deal with on the phone, and a lot of those buyers are getting so upset that they decide not to shop on eBay anymore, and they tell other people about, oh, how terrible their experience with eBay was. That's what eBay has a problem with. eBay's making a ton of money from dropshippers, but they're really afraid that that's at the expense of the long-term sustainability of their platform. There are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of new people starting dropshipping all the time. So let's imagine that every single new person dropshipping drives away 5 customers. That's a lot of people. That is the reason that they updated their policy and made retail arbitrage dropshipping against terms of service. Sorry about the lighting in the background and stuff. Because I travel around, I don't have big lights with me. I just have a little LED one that runs off of batteries, and as the batteries start dying, it gets dimmer and dimmer and dimmer. That was my last set. I don't have any more batteries on me, and I don't want to go out and buy more batteries right now. I could refilm to look more professional, but I think it's more important to get this video up fast so that it can be there to help you guys out. So I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to make do with this ugly background for now. All right, so I don't even remember what I was saying, but I was talking about eBay and just sort of in general why they would change their policies to disallow retail arbitrage dropshipping. They'd only do that if they thought that they were hurting themselves more long-term than, you know, the amount of money that they're making quickly and easily off of these dropshippers right now. So yeah, for whatever reason, they've decided that this is, you know, not helping their platform and it's making it go downhill, and if they can stop it, then it's going to be better for eBay overall as a whole, mostly because of those problems with buyers, you know, promising shipping times that they aren't then delivering on, or saying an item's coming from a location that it's not actually coming from, saying an item's coming from the US when it's actually coming from China, you know, all that kind of stuff. That's what's causing eBay problems, and that's why they've decided to change their policy. Now that we have a good understanding of why eBay has a problem with retail arbitrage dropshipping, we can have a much better idea of what they might try to do to fix it, i.e. flagging / throttling accounts that they think are dropshipping. Now let's talk about the main theories about what eBay is actually catching that's causing them to flag people. The first one is the metadata in the photos. You might not know this, but if you're just downloading photos from Amazon and then re-uploading those photos to use on your product, if you haven't cleared the metadata out of those photos, then it can just say Amazon.com right in the metadata. That's a pretty big giveaway right there. They can see it. Same kind of thing happens with Instagram, which I have a big history with. If you don't clear out the metadata and you're just reposting photos and not changing them at all, it can give you a lot of issues. I don't think metadata is really a problem yet for eBay dropshipping, but I wouldn't know because with my method, I already clear out all of that info. If you're using Yably, like I recommend to list your items, they already take care of all that. When you're listing items, they automatically clear out the metadata and make sure that everything's good when they upload it. So metadata is not the issue, and that's probably why it's one of the least talked about theories. Still a good idea to clear it out. Like I said, if you're using Yably, they do it automatically for you. Second theory that a ton of people believe is that the API connection is what's causing flagging. When you authorize a third-party app, you know, like a dropshipping program, or, you know, anything that you'd use for dropshipping that has to be connected to your eBay account, when you authorize that and say, yes, I agree to let you use my account, a lot of people are thinking, oh, well, what if eBay's just flagging all of these apps, and then whenever you approve that app, they say, aha, they're using dropshipping software, and then they flag your account a little bit later on. Now, like I said, a lot of people believe this, so let's think it through logically. First, on eBay's end, they have to have a list of every single program that's being used to dropship. And I don't know if you know this, I started selling on eBay way before I started doing dropshipping. I used to physically buy things and flip them. And there's a lot of programs and software out there that have API connection that don't have to do with dropshipping. Actually, if you go in and you look at the things that are authorized to use your API, there are even certain things, like if I'm remembering correctly, business policies and things like that. Like there are different things that are actually tacked on that are automatic, you know, allowed to use the API. So it's not just dropshipping software, you know, API exists for a reason. But yeah, so okay, so let's say that they have a list, okay? They have to go out there and then gather every single program and say, okay, this one's for dropshipping, this one's not, this one, you know, they have to sort through all this stuff and figure out exactly which ones are for dropshipping and which ones aren't, and which ones are only for dropshipping and which ones can be used for both. Okay, let's just say given they just flag everything that has to do with dropshipping, it's just that those keys are flagged now, and if anybody tries to add them or authorize them, the users get flagged, right? There are a ton of different programs that do different things for dropshipping. There are some really, really popular ones that a lot of people use, and there are some very much lesser known ones. I find it very hard to believe that eBay would actually be able to scrape together all of these and then say, okay, that's everything, let's ban all this stuff all at exactly the same time. I think what's much more likely is that they'd say, okay, well, we know that these are the 3 biggest offenders, ban those guys, then they'd like maybe see how it's working, oh, let's add this one, you know, they'd expand from there. I don't think they would do every single dropshipping app all at the same time. Now, if that was the case and they didn't just do everything at once, which like I said would be really, really hard to do because there are some really small ones out there, you'd hear everyone using the mainstream software saying, oh no, I'm flagged, blah, blah, blah. But then the people that are using the smaller software would be like, well, I'm not flagged, and I'm using this. And then what's going to happen is those big ones are going to quickly drop off because everybody's flagged, and then the other ones are going to be growing. Maybe eBay's like, oh, okay, well, this little one, we need to do that one. But you see what I'm saying? It wouldn't happen to everybody all at the same time. It would be, okay, let's hit DSM Tool and Sale Freaks because lots of people are using those, and then some of the smaller ones would be fine. But I mean, you get the idea, right? That's not what we're seeing. But okay, let's say somehow they just came up with a complete list of every tool for dropshipping, regardless of size. Somehow they did that, and that's what they did. That's their plan. Just flag anybody using these apps. Okay, cool. What happens if you're one of the people who created these programs for dropshipping? Oh, well, they're flagging people for the API connection to our software. Okay, I guess we'll just have to shut it all down then. No, that's not what you'd say at all. You'd say, okay, well, they're flagging people for the API connection. How can we fix this? Can we get a new API connection? Anybody can create a developer account and get new keys for a new piece of software that they're working on developing. What if we just take our current software, swap the keys, move it over to different keys that aren't flagged, and then have everybody just relink? Or no, maybe that's a bad idea because, you know, flags stay around for too long. Maybe let's have a subscription Chrome extension that people have have to, maybe you have to leave a tab open in their browser, but they sign into it there, and then that Chrome extension just manages everything. It can pull the same info, right? Guys, the thing to remember is that the API connection is the most efficient way to do things. That doesn't mean it's the only way to do things. It doesn't hurt or stop the developers of these software if eBay flags the API. It just makes it more annoying for them because they have to come up with something different. They have to come up with a new way to grab the same information, but once they have that information, what they do with it, they already have that all programmed. So they really just have to figure out a new way to grab the information. That means that all of these software developers now are going to have to figure out non-API ways to get the same information. And that very likely is going to include a whole lot more page loads, because when you're using the API, you can say, hey, I'd like this piece of information, and the API goes boop, and then you get just that piece of information. Another way to do it is just load the whole page and then find the information in that page, copy the info, and then use it that way. On the developer side, that's fine because they're just, they're just trying to get that information. But that means way more page loads. It means page load, page load, page load, page load, grabbing all of this information. eBay doesn't want that because that puts a ton more load on their servers. I don't know how techy you are, but like, for example, receiving a line of text, right, is very easy, but receiving an image or something like that uses way more information, way more bandwidth than the other stuff. So it is very much in eBay's interest to not cause a bunch more page loads and a whole lot of load on their servers. Plus, I just don't really see that as being something that eBay would do. But okay, let's just, sake of argument, we're just thinking about this logically. API connection causes the problem, right? Why do we have to wait? You take a new account, authorize a dropshipping app that is flagged by eBay as a dropshipping app. Why wouldn't eBay just be like, oh, they authorized this dropshipping app, boop, flagged immediately, right? Bam, right off the bat. Explain to me how it would make any sense that eBay's like, oh no, we're not gonna flag them when they authorize this flagged app. We're just gonna wait like a month and then we're gonna flag them. How does that make any sense? It doesn't. If you open a new account, connect dropshipping software that is flagged, and list a bunch of stuff, you're gonna do fine. You're gonna get sales. You're gonna do great for a while until they automatically review it after a little bit, and then they're gonna say, oh no, this guy's been dropshipping, bam, flagged. It doesn't make sense. They wouldn't do that. You can try to say like, oh, well, they wouldn't want people to know, but like, what does it matter if people know? If they just wanna ban people from dropshipping, then just ban every dropshipping app immediately. If you use the app, you get flagged, bam, that's done. There's no reason for them to sort of play games and try to act like, oh, we're not gonna flag you for a few weeks and let you get sales and let you do, treat customers badly like we're thinking you do, and then only after a month, then we're gonna... No, it doesn't make sense. That brings us to the third theory here, which is the correct one. Item location. Remember how I said before, eBay's been having problems with new dropshippers saying they're shipping things from the US quickly when they're actually shipping them from China with really long shipping times, and it's making a lot of buyers upset. That is the problem. Item location. They're not going to flag you immediately. They need to wait until they have enough data on your account for their algorithm to assess and see if you're actually shipping from the correct location or not. After several weeks, once stuff has been delivered and they have the tracking, they can see where it came from, they can match that up to your item location, and if it doesn't match, you're going to get flagged. I did a video a little bit ago about item location, and that is how to comply with their policies and how to get restrictions removed if they're catching you for violating the item location policy, but I don't know that that will help with this flag. So I'm changing up a couple things. I'm still going to leave the video up though because it's still accurate. And if you don't find this video and actually fix it and take the steps that I'm going to suggest, then that's still your best bet. Something else interesting you might not know, I run 12 eBay accounts and I have a number of other accounts that I help people with. So I've seen a whole lot of information and data on when accounts are getting flagged, and it does not appear to be a manual kind of thing. As soon as one store gets flagged, usually all of them get flagged on the same date, or ones that the algorithm has enough data on to know if they're dropshipping or not. I know all the accounts are not linked to me. It's not like it was done manually and someone was just going through every single account I owned. I'm basically positive that this is an automatic system that's doing it because that's the only reason that all these accounts would get hit all at the exact same date at the exact same time. They always get flagged on a certain day that seems to change month to month as long as they have enough data for their algorithm to be sure that you're dropshipping. And that kind of makes sense. I mean, eBay doesn't need to pay a whole bunch of people to be like trying to find dropshippers so that they can flag them and stuff. It's a whole lot easier to just come up with an algorithm and it's like, if you meet these criteria, automatically flag, done. So what is the solution that I promised you guys? Like I said, tons of other videos out there have been like, how to fix this, but then they don't actually give you a solution. They just give you some random thoughts and some maybe kind of things to try. So the problem is item location, right? How does eBay get that? From the tracking numbers. Some people have just completely stopped uploading tracking numbers and they're testing to try to see if that works. But the issue is then if a buyer says they didn't get it, then like, what do? Do you upload tracking to prove that you got it? But then they're gonna be like, oh, tracking, oh, flag the account. I was hesitant to do that because I know that buyers like it, and I was pretty sure that there would be a better solution very quickly, and there is. eBay can look at your USPS, UPS, FedEx tracking number and see the origin item location, right? What about BlueCare? BlueCare doesn't show the origin item location, it just shows that the item was received by BlueCare and delivered to this final destination. There is no way to get the original item location from a BlueCare tracking number. Now, hopefully you already know and understand what BlueCare is, but if you don't, here's just a quick explanation. BlueCare is basically a reference tracking number. So it was created for people who were using Amazon logistics tracking. The problem was you can't track Amazon logistics tracking unless you're signed into the Amazon account that made the purchase. So how can you give the buyer a tracking number if it's useless? How can you win cases with that? So ta-da, BlueCare was born. BlueCare basically gets the Amazon tracking number and all the tracking updates, and then it creates a new BlueCare tracking number that just basically references that one. So you give someone the BlueCare tracking number, they have no clue where it's coming from, if it's an Amazon item or not. All they know is that it was shipped and, if it's been delivered or not. So that fixed the problem of Amazon logistics tracking, but that fixes this problem too. So great, why does this matter? The couple things that were shipped with Amazon logistics tracking are now safe because you'll have a BlueCare number, can't see item location, great, but most things are still shipped with UPS or USPS or something like that, so this doesn't really help if you're still getting those other sales with things that are shipped with non-Amazon logistics, right? Wrong. What if you could get a BlueCare tracking number to reference every single tracking number that you get? Like whether it's FedEx, USPS, UPS, any tracking number, you can just get a BlueCare tracking number made for it that doesn't show the origin item location, upload that to eBay. eBay has no way to check and confirm if that matches or not, but how can you do that? TrackerBot just added support. So TrackerBot's basically a program that automatically uploads all of your tracking numbers for you to eBay. But they added an option that lets you select to basically convert every tracking number that you get into a BlueCare tracking number. I contacted them and asked them a bunch of questions about it, and they've confirmed that it's working and completely fixes the problem. Now, obviously, I don't know that this will fix existing accounts immediately. If it's already flagged, you probably have to wait a month or two, wait till it's reviewed again. Once it's been reviewed and they've decided, oh, okay, they're not dropshipping anymore, let's take away this flag, then that's when you can actually implement this on those accounts and not get flagged again from that. If you have a really big store that's currently flagged and you're just trying to get it unflagged as fast as possible, my best recommendation for you, and this isn't backed by any data or anything, this is just what seems to make sense to me, delist every single item that you were dropshipping on there, maybe save like a backup, download all the titles and everything so you don't lose that work. Then list a few physical items you actually have that you actually take photos of that you can ship from your home address. Double check your item locations, make sure they're accurate, use normal USPS or whatever to just ship them out, and just sort of give your account a little bit of data showing that you're actually shipping from the item locations that you're saying now. Hopefully the next time that eBay goes to review your account, they'll say, oh, okay, look, this matches up. I don't think they're drop shipping anymore. Looks like they took down all their stuff. They've probably stopped drop shipping. Okay, let's unflag them. That would be my best thought as to how to get unflagged as quickly as possible, but it's still gonna take a month or two. Then as soon as you're unflagged, start back up again. But this time, make sure you're using TrackerBot to upload only BlueCare tracking numbers for everything. Like I said, BlueCare does not provide the origin location, so there's no way for eBay to ever know if you've shipped from any location different than what you said, like as long, I gotta assume the country is correct, but So yeah, I'm sorry that there's no way to just say, oh, do this, and then your account will magically get unflagged, but that's just not how it works. If you've been dropshipping for a while and you got flagged, that sucks, but there's nothing you can do to get rid of it right away. They've said that, if you can prove you're not dropshipping and show that you have contracts with manufacturers, but then the thing there is, even if you have those contracts ready to go to show them, they don't even have any way to accept those contracts and review them yet. So yeah, there's no real way to get it removed. You just have to wait till it's automatically reviewed again. But like I said, this does completely save every new account. Make a new account, get your limits up, copy all the items off your old store and put them up on your new store. If that sounds like a headache to you and you have no clue how you would do that manually, don't do it manually. Got a whole dropshipping course down in the description, and if you do that stuff, you'll be fine. It goes over everything about like listing items quickly and all that stuff, and with the info that's in it, you can easily figure out how to transfer items from one account to another. If you want to sign up for TrackerBot so that all of your tracking numbers can be converted to BlueCare, check the link in the description, I'll have it right at the top. And hey, subscribe to my channel, because like I said, as far as I know, I am the first person that has publicly come out with this information. I know there are a lot of other big dropshipping influencers who follow my channel, so they'll probably rip off this video and post it on their own channel, act like they came up with it, but hey, I came out with it first. Check the date. Hope it helps, guys. If you have more questions about dropshipping or anything like that, leave them in the comments. I read all of them, and if they're really good, then I'll make a video responding to them. But yeah, that's it for this one, and I'll see you guys with another video in a couple days.